Welcome to a new video. I'm going to be going through my travel packing list. I'm soon going to be embarking on a long backpacking trip of around 3 to 4 months. Last year I did around 2 months in Southeast Asia. I'm heading to Southeast Asia again and then on to Australia. I thought I'd run through exactly what I'm taking in a video. I've actually made a travel packing list document which you can download as a PDF and print off. First thing I want to talk about is the actual bags that I'm taking. So my main backpack is this Osprey. I think it's a 65 litre backpack. You've got the main section here which is very large and expands down, numerous straps to pull it in for when there's less stuff to make it more compact, and likewise it can actually expand and become quite large. It also has a bottom section which is separated from the main section which I use for shoes. So this bottom section here, really good for a separate area for shoes, especially if they're a bit muddy or sweaty. Again, lots of little clips like this on this bag which enable you to pull those sections in when you haven't got as much stuff and actually really condense this bag down. In addition to that, at the bottom it's also got a water cover resistant coat which I use quite frequently when putting over on the bikes. There's a couple of other pockets on the sides and some more on the straps. The main thing I like about this bag is this frame. It does make it slightly bulkier having the fixed frame on the back, but actually it's way comfier when it's on you and you've got the straps across to bring it in. I'm going to be taking 2 other bags. So this is the next bag. This is my kind of hand luggage bag. It's just a basic rucksack. This is going to be for my hand luggage on the planes and mainly to keep my tech in, so laptop, camera. I also utilise that bag if I'm going out on a long day trip whilst out there. It's good for, like, you know, putting water bottles in, towels, etc. So this is the 3rd bag that I'm taking, a shoulder bag. The reason why I like having this bag is because it stays on your body and close to you. So you put your valuables in it. So I put passport, wallet, phone, money. When you're just leaving, heading out for some food, keep all of your valuables in here, and it also keeps it close to your chest, which is a lot better for, say, if it was on your back, for people to steal your stuff. So you feel a bit safer having your valuables in here. And also on the plane, obviously, when you're doing travel days, having all of the stuff like passport, phone, easily accessible just here rather than in your backpack is much better. That's enough about the actual bags that I'm taking. Let's get on to the stuff that's actually going to be going into them. In this packing list that I've made, I've actually put an essentials box at the top. So those 6 items I've put down there are kind of general travel stuff. That's passport, appropriate visas, an international bank card such as like a Monzo or a Starling, where you get reduced fees for not using non-sterling compared to a high street traditional bank. Travel insurance, local cash, so local currency, and tickets for your transport, so boarding passes, train tickets. Those 6 essential items might seem obvious, but they are, like I said, essential. You won't be going anywhere without your passport, and you're going to have a rough time without any local currency. Moving on to clothing. All of my clothes are pretty much going to go in here, apart from maybe a hoodie in my hand luggage. Just a quick one on clothing before we get stuck into it. In terms of washing clothes, I usually worked on like a 10-day cycle, so I'd have like 10 pairs of underwear, 10 kind of tops, and then you kind of wash your clothes every 10 days kind of time. That worked pretty well on my last trip, so I'll probably stick to that. In terms of t-shirts and sports tops, I'll be aiming for around 10. I'm going to be taking 5 t-shirts, so something like this, thin cotton. Usually aim for lighter colours really because it's a bit better in the heat. As I mentioned on the laundry cycle, kind of 10 days, I'm going to be taking another 5 t-shirts, but this time sports tops. So the sports kind of material, thin football tops that are breathable. So moving on to shorts. I like to have shorts with zips. So I've got 2 pairs of shorts with zips, just plain kind of sports shorts, really thin, light material, and having those zip pockets. Just feels like you've got a bit more security when you've got the zip pockets sticking your phone in, especially if you're walking around an area you don't know. So that's 2 pairs of shorts with zips. In addition to those 2 pairs of shorts with zips, probably just take another 2 pairs of shorts, maybe a sports short, and then maybe some cotton shorts as well. So around 4 shorts in total. As I mentioned with the laundry cycle, trying to wash your clothes every kind of 10 days, I usually just aim to take 10 pairs of underwear. So 10 pairs of pants, make sure they're comfortable, and also 10 pairs of socks. I'll be taking mainly trainer socks because I'll be wearing shorts most of the time. I'm going to be traveling to more warmer climates, so this kind of packing list is more suited to the warmer climate. But I will be taking some longer trousers. So the first pair of kind of longer trousers, I'll be taking a pair of cargos. These are good, really comfy, and also a little bit smarter if you want to go on a night out. In addition to the pair of cargos, just going to take a standard pair of joggers as well. Again, I'm aiming for a lot of sports clothes here just because I like the thinness and it's a lot cooler in these climates. To be honest, I took a pair of joggers last time, only wore them a handful of times. However, if you're going to be doing stuff like hiking and you're doing early morning hikes, it is really cold early in the morning if you wake up early for sunrise and stuff like that. so it's also good to have a pair of joggers for that. The other thing to consider with joggers is you're not going to get bitten on your legs, or you're a lot less likely to get bitten on your legs. So if you are susceptible to bites, mosquito bites and stuff like that, having a pair of joggers, especially a thin pair, a comfy pair, is really essential. So I guess that's the kind of more conventional standard clothes. Moving on to some slightly different items. A raincoat, really essential. Make sure it's one that can fold up and it's fairly thin and lightweight. Because of the tropical climates, the places that I'm going to be visiting and that you might be visiting if you're doing a backpacking trip, it's essential just to have your rain jacket. That'll probably live in my hand luggage a lot of the time, unless on longer journeys, and I'll stick it into my main bag. The only other kind of coat I'm going to be taking is just a light jumper. Sometimes it gets quite cold on the plains, and especially if you're waking up early doing some hikes. Swimwear, I'll be taking 2 pairs of trunks. I always like to take 2 pairs because obviously when you use one, then dry them out the next day. You don't want to be putting on a wet pair. So yeah, hats. I'll be taking 2 hats with me. One that I don't really mind kind of getting a bit ruined or mucky, and then one kind of slightly nicer one. That's kind of usually how I do it. So they'll probably sit in my hand luggage bag or on my head most of the time. At the end of the clothing section, you've got shoes. This one is quite a big one. I feel like a lot of people have different opinions on this, but in my opinion, you don't really want to be wearing kind of flat-soled or worn-out shoes. Personally believe that you should get a walking shoe, a sturdy shoe with a proper heel, or a running shoe. So what I've got, my main shoe are these. They're a pair of Asics trainers. They're actually trail running trainers, so they're a good bulky shoe. You've got a little bit of waterproofness, and it's got Asics gel, so it's really, really comfy. These are probably the comfiest shoes I've ever owned. I think they're around £100, but they're definitely worth the investment. And yeah, like I said, they're just really comfy. It just makes it so much nicer, especially going on long walks and stuff like that. The benefit of having kind of a trail running shoe or a walking shoe is they kind of can double up as for the more adventurous kind of day trips if you're going hiking, because they've got a good grip and a good sole on the bottom. The other pair of shoes I'll be taking are these running trainers. These are just another pair of trainers to have, and obviously good for exercise as well. So a proper pair of road running trainers, similar to the other trainers really, just super comfy for the day. You can walk around in these. If you're meant to run in them, it's going to be sound walking around in them, isn't it? So it's much better for your feet to have a proper shoe. Another pair of footwear that I'm going to be taking, a pair of flip-flops, obviously essential for the beaches. A lot comfier, just slip in them much quicker. So moving on to the accessories section. First one, pretty obvious, wallet. Next one, not so obvious, a dry bag. Now this was essential when I was on the motorbikes in Vietnam, because I wanted to keep all my tech 100% dry. I had it covered up. This gave me that added extra security. I actually just ended up bunging my whole backpack hand luggage bag just in there. I just found that was the easiest way to do it. So I'll be taking that again. Next one, a padlock. So this is good for the gym and hostels. A lot of the hostels have like your own little kind of cabinet or cupboard. They don't always come with a padlock, or the padlock might look a bit dodgy. So take your own sturdy padlock. Next one, a notebook, and take a pen as well. Good for jotting stuff down if you want to do journaling and stuff like that. Some reading material. This might just be dependent on what you kind of do to pass the time. There'll be a lot of times where you're waiting around. I think it's good to have a non-kind of screen-based pastime, so taking a book's a good idea. Next one, a microfiber towel. These are really good actually. Some places might not have the nicest towels. You might not be able to get a beach towel, so having a microfiber towel, I mean, look how small you can roll this up to. And that can just chill in your bag. Other good benefits, that dries really quickly. Next one, sunnies. Definitely essential. Don't take an expensive pair because you will break them. Just take a cheap pair. They might only last a couple of months before someone sits on them and you've got to buy another pair. Lastly, on the accessories, travel wash. This is travel wash for washing your clothes. There might be periods where there's not an option to actually wash your clothes, or you don't fancy washing your clothes in a certain place. Take a travel wash. You can wash clothes in the sink, saves you a couple of days washing. Moving on to the next section, toiletries. A lot of these are going to be self-explanatory. I've put them all still in my travel packing list, so let's just run through them. The self-explanatory ones: toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, shower gel and soap. Any medication obviously, a razor and shaving foam, moisturiser. A less obvious one, insect repellent, good one to have. Some places just have loads more mozzies if you're near water and stuff like that. Sunscreen, obviously, if you're going to warmer climates. Another perhaps less obvious one is burn gel and plasters. These are the 2 essential first aid items I'd recommend taking. Lastly, cotton buds. So moving on to the last section, technology. This is going to be quite specific to me because I'm going to be taking probably more technology than perhaps someone who isn't recording YouTube videos and capturing a lot of content. So the first one, essential, obviously, everyone's going to have one of these, your phone. Second thing, camera. I'm recording on the GoPro now. I'll be taking that with me. I love it. Action camera, slip it in your pocket, nice and easy. Next up, my drone. I love recording on the drone. This is just a little DJI drone. Definitely going to be taking this. Places like Indonesia, Philippines, beautiful coastlines. Defo going to want my drone with me. Also taking this time, which I didn't take last time, a film camera. I've decided to take a film camera just for a slightly different outlook on capturing photos. So I'm pretty excited to take some snaps on here. Next up, Bluetooth speaker. I like to have this with me for the room in the hotel. Quite a big one. Earphones or headphones. Noise cancelling especially. I'll be taking these noise cancelling earphones and also my over ear noise cancelling headphones. They're a big one for the plane journeys that are loud and they really cut out that kind of hum that you get on the plane. Obviously I'm going to be taking my laptop so I can edit on the go and upload my footage. Not everyone wants to take a laptop. It's also good when you're planning trips. I understand if you didn't want to because it could be quite expensive, especially if you lose it. And this is the GoPro hard case and I usually keep a lot of my stuff in here. Chargers, cables, different GoPro mounts, external hard drive for backing up my footage, and a big one, the power bank. There's a little SD card reader which plugs into USB-C for my laptop so I can upload my footage. I've also got spare SD cards in here, spare cables. I like to have all of that in here, keep it all in one place. It's a good hardy case as well. Lastly, the travel adapter. This is obviously essential for charging your items. Get yourself a good sturdy one. Don't go for a cheap one because it'll probably just break. That pretty much concludes the travel packing video. I'll leave a link to this travel packing list in the description. I hope this video has helped you out and happy travels. See you in the next video.